news.
A lot of topics. And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Superherocuts podcast, where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Jerry. Brother, how are you today?
I am good. How are you?
Good, man. It's been a very interesting day, but we're here. Work was good. Just been I feel like it's been a long week and it's only Tuesday,
I
but
know.
it's been good, man. YouTube's doing good, the usual.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. All right. So let's get started, y'all. Let's get started. Okay. So we got exciting news, and it's really the title of this episode. So the Daredevil suit was revealed today. Okay, Comic Cuts. I'm gonna let you go first. What do you think about this suit?
You know, I think this suit is emblematic of where we are with comic book movies because when Daredevil on Netflix originally came out, we got a very muted version of the Daredevil suit. Uh, Netflix and Marvel were smart and built a show that was designed to appeal to not just superhero nerds like ourselves, but to a wider general audience. Superheroes are so mainstream now in terms of, you know, entertainment, movies and TV, that Marvel knows they could deliver a comic accurate, bright colored Daredevil suit, and that it's not going to be a turnoff to people. And I think that this is, like I said, emblematic of where we are, and it shows how far that we've come. That they are convinced that general audiences, they're going to go for a bright colored suit like this.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm sorry. I'm pulling up the image of it to put it on our screen.
And by
Um,
the way, by the way,
yeah.
I also think that the Batman is so iconic at this point that it's inspiring other suits. I mean, the Batman came out what 2 years ago, and look how heavily the Batman suit inspired our guy Matt Murdock looks right there. I mean, you really could see it on the torso, specifically with the abs, and even with the other pictures with the pants and the boots. I mean, this looks like a Daredevil version of the Pattinson Batman suit.
Yeah, I think this suit is miraculous. I think this suit is amazing. I'm a big fan of this suit. I love the color red that they chose. I thought that they were going to go something similar that you see in our thumbnail with the maroon red, like we saw in She-Hulk. I'm happy that we went back to a traditional style with the red. I do think that there's going to be digital changes to the suit. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they put the DD in the center after they go back and edit it. I do wonder what they're going to do with the eyes. I think they're going to make the
Yeah.
eyes white.
So, you know, it's if you might have to zoom in if you're depending on how you're watching this, but the eyes, he is very obviously has something over his eyes that make his pupils and eyes appear bright red. It almost looks like it could be a light, and his lips look very red from a distance. If not zoomed in, it might appear like he's wearing lipstick. Some eagle eye commenters were saying that this might be indicative of the suit, appearing brighter than it really is based on set lights, like lighting on set for filming. Listen, I still think it's going to be brighter than the Netflix Daredevil suit. It might not be as bright as it appears in this photo when it actually does hit Disney Plus.
Yeah. The other thing is that the Daredevil suit in Netflix was maroon. It wasn't red. Marvel went with the actual red color, which is what I'm the most hyped.
But
Hyped
maroon,
about.
it's a muted. That maroon, it's called spade a spade, was a muted version of the Daredevil, color in the comics. Which, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, isn't
this suit
like
is amazing.
the Daredevil comic suit color isn't red like you see on Spider-Man, but it's not dark as in Daredevil Netflix.
Yeah, I think this suit is utterly amazing. I think I think this is fire, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Why
Excuse me,
would you
I'm
lie?
super hyped about it.
Why would
Huh?
you lie? Why would you lie?
I don't know. That's just like a saying I always say. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This
Yeah,
joint's fire.
I always ask when people say
Yeah,
it.
I don't
Like,
know. That's just a saying that I always say. I don't know why.
yeah,
Like, not gonna lie, NGL. You know, I
yeah,
know we text you always hear me say NGL. I don't
yeah,
know, but anyways, but yeah, I do think that they're gonna add digital things to this. Just like how his eyes were different in She-Hulk. I'm very interested to see how they're going to do the eyes in this show. But we also got to look at Bullseye. Also, a lot of people were hating on Bullseye, but when I saw the clip in action, it looked pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I I didn't think we are gonna get an over the top Bullseye suit. I'm just happy that he's back.
Yeah, and they're going with the tactical suit that he wore in the comics as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I
So
saw that.
that's also
But
pretty exciting.
I think that there are people that want to see the OG retro style with the target on his head. And listen, we're not getting 1960s era costumes, almost like never. So I just don't see that being in the cards. That's like expecting to see Frank Castle walking out with, thigh high white boots. Like, it's 2024. Okay. You're muted.
I think we are going to get a traditional Bullseye suit, like with the bullseye on the top of the head. I think that could be digitally, painted. See, like, so with T'Challa suit, right? Back when they showed the set photos, it was very similar to how Daredevil suit was. And what they did with T'Challa suit, bro, is that they digitally painted over the black to make the black a little
Oh,
more prominent. So my guess is that they're going to digitally, because it looks like that's the same material that T'Challa had for his Black Panther suit on the set. So they're probably going to digitally paint over that. So the red, as you said, might be a little darker,
yeah.
but people also got to put this into effect. This is going to be darn near like an 18 to 20 episode season. So and I've heard rumors that this isn't going to be the only suit that we're going to see. Like I heard that we are going to see a stealth suit, which is just an all black joint. We're going to see a lot of other Daredevil suits. So I'm pretty excited to see what's story.
Yeah.
Now, there was something else that got leaked, but that was shown on Twitter, and it was Foggy on the ground. And by the way, spoiler alert, it was Foggy on the ground with blood on his chest. And a lot of people are starting to come up with theory. My time to shine. Hello, talked about this. There's a big rumor going around that Foggy's going to die. So we'll have to see what happens.
As hard as that is going to be to swallow, if it does happen, like that is one of those events that will be like shattering to the dynamic, and it will make for fire entertainment. Listen, I also really hope that we see the Punisher. Listen, I love the Punisher. I know most do. And by the way, there has been. You know what? I'm not going to go there, but I'm hoping to see the Punisher. I love the Punisher. The Punisher and Daredevil. That episode on the rooftop, I think, is one of the greatest scenes in all of superhero movies and TV. That was amazing. That, the dialogue, yeah, and what do you do, Red? That was epic. And by the way, whoever was the casting director for these shows absolutely nailed it, because Charlie Cox and John Bernthal are two of the greatest superhero castings of all time.
Charlie Cox is great. I didn't like him at first either, and he definitely grew on me with his acting ability.
I thought you were going to say you didn't think John Bernthal was.
Nah, John Brenthal's great. I just want to see a little more fantastical to him, if that makes sense.
The Punisher really isn't a fantastical character, though.
Yeah, but like when I say fantastical, like don't you know how in She-Hulk and the Echo episode, the movement of Daredevil was just smoother and it looked more comic booky, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. That's what I mean.
So,
I
you
just want
know,
more movement with the Punisher as a
well,
character and the way he fights, rather than like a brute like brawler.
so I guess I will get into it, but
Go ahead.
there was so after the BLM Back the Blue, conflict online, there was a lot of apparently a lot of police started using the Punisher logo as like
Oh, about
decals
the
on their
skull. Yeah.
car. And then, a lot of people that support that movement started using the Punisher on their car. And like, aside from anyone's views on that topic and conflict and everything, there was a faction of comic fans that were like, Marvel. There were two pushes. There was Marvel. You need to change the Punisher logo because the Punisher can't be affiliated with these people. And then and I know to a lot of people that this is going to sound unbelievable, but I have seen numerous people actually say Marvel needs to retire the Punisher. And, it's so crazy to me that they are like, okay, we're not going to retire one of the greatest characters of all time because you don't like people using their logo, whether you like the people or not. That's like so ridiculous. And anyway, they did actually change the Punisher logo. And I was just reading so anyway, the Punisher, like in modern Punisher comics, joined, I forget if it was the Hand or another gang. I'm pretty sure it was the Hand, but he like joined and is heading like one of the, Japanese or gangs. And it is a little more fantastical rather than tactical for the Punisher. But I don't know. I'm still early in that comic, so I don't see it getting fantastical yet, but it might. But one of the reasons I thought the Punisher was so great with Netflix, like the thing about Daredevil and the Punisher that made Netflix work so well is that those characters are naturally at least in the stories, more realistic than other Marvel characters. Obviously, it's not realistic for a blind person to fight the way Daredevil does. But, it's more realistic than getting bit by a spider and turning into Spider-Man. You know what I mean? And I think Netflix wanted to go with something that was grounded in realism, again, to appeal to a wider fan base than just the nerds like us that live and breathe this stuff.
They're definitely not going to retire the Punisher in the MCU.
I know. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They even, by the way, even aside from the MCU, they're not going to retire the Punisher. The Punisher is a very popular character. He's one of Marvel's most popular characters. He has a very loyal fan base. There are a lot of comic readers out there that only read the Punisher, and they read the Punisher religiously, and it's all they read. Like, so to think that Marvel is going to throw it out because you don't like a political affiliation that Marvel has nothing to do with is absurd.
Yeah, and like if there's still a Carol Danvers that doesn't sell any comics, believe me, Punisher ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't understand how much Carol Danvers doesn't actually sell in comics.
Yeah, and they're trying now, like, with the Carol Danvers, the new Jen McKay Avengers run has Carol Danvers is the captain of that team. And listen, I really like that run so far. But let me tell you something. It's actually really good. I think the next one comes out tomorrow. But Carol Danvers being the captain of the team is like the one thing that doesn't make any sense because her character's not interesting. And listen, I liked Captain Marvel, the first one. I thought they did a good job with that movie. You know, and maybe Captain Marvel is a mismanaged character, but it just seems like she's consistently a letdown over and over.
I agree. And maybe when it comes to stronger female characters, you got to do her like you do like they might have to do her like Scarlett Johansson did Black, Widow, to where she's a very powerful character, but you do it in ways that are not that is different from the norm.
On the note of female characters, and I was thinking about this earlier, did Elektra Nachos die in The Defenders? I think she did.
I'm pretty sure she did.
Yeah, and that sucks. Listen, and I don't want to see...
She's coming back, though, dude.
I hope she does, because she's a great character. She is a great character, and, you want to talk about a female character that's managed well is Elektra.
I like Elektra. Elektra's dope.
Yeah.
So, all right. Next topic. Thanos returning to the MCU. Let me read this for you real quick.
Inevitable.
Right? All right, let's get to it. Oh, 1 second. And it reads this. Josh Brolin says he heard rumors about Thanos returning to the MCU. I hear kind of like through the grapevine that they're going to bring him back. So Thanos coming back is really big news. Number one, because we never really got a lot of Thanos, even though it seems like it, because we got 2 straight movies about him. But the reality is we only got 2 movies where we really got a Thanos focused, on the film. And to be honest, we have yet to see King Thanos. And I think that there could be something super awesome in the works if you bring back someone like a King Thanos or someone like that into the fold. I would even argue that I don't think Thanos should have ever died. I feel like Thanos is one of those characters that you can take out, but they're never actually really gone. So
I disagree.
I think that Thanos coming back is in line with kind of comic books and continuing a story. Now, how important he's going to be in the future, I don't think he's going to be that big or that important. Should Thanos be around in the Marvel universe now that the multiverse is cracking? Of course, yes.
So, listen, I love Thanos. He's a great character. I agree that we could use more Thanos. However, I think for the Infinity War Endgame back-to-back movie to work, Thanos had to die, because if he didn't, everyone would think there's another version of Thanos that's going to find the Infinity Stones and undo what was done at the end of Endgame. So that's number one. Number two, listen, I read a ton of comics, and I didn't know who King Thanos was. When you told me that, like I told you, I had to Google that. So, I'm sure that this is going to be going viral and people are going to be talking a lot about King Thanos. But let me be the one to tell you, there's not a lot on King Thanos. King Thanos appeared in a solo Thanos comic, which there aren't that many solo Thanos comic runs. There's few and far in between. So King Thanos is not a character with a lot of back content or exists. And I think that's similar to the way Sentry got very overhyped. I think people are going to overhype King Thanos and say they love King Thanos. But like I told you, they probably never heard of King Thanos till recently. Because if I didn't hear about King Thanos till recently, most of the people on Twitter who pretend they read comics and say the Snyder versus comic accurate definitely didn't know of King Thanos.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, so
I think one more thing.
So sorry, my bad.
No worries. And I also listen. My concern is that Thanos is going to come. It's going to be a lackluster. It's not going to be lackluster, but it's going to be a small scene somewhere, kind of similar to the Doctor Strange Thanos scene in the Multiverse of Madness, because it's kind of odd to me that we're talking about Thanos coming back when we're also talking about Kang getting recasted, and we're talking about Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty, and then we're talking about Avengers Secret Wars, Doctor Doom. Where does Thanos fall into this? Because there's not that much more room for another big bad when you're talking about Kang the Conqueror, Doctor Doom, and potentially the Beyonder. So I don't think there's enough to go around.
So the only way I see Thanos fitting is if Kang goes to a degree to where he needs a team of villains, and so that's where he could go and grab a King Thanos. He can grab a Jean Grey Phoenix. He can grab a Magneto and all those types of characters to make literally a unstoppable team, and that could be, bro, the Kang Dynasty. I mean, as much as now me personally, Jerry, if I was Kevin Feige, this is what I would do. If I was writing for for Avengers Kang Dynasty, I would have made Kang recruit all of the Avengers from the original movies. So I would have grabbed the most powerful version of Iron Man, which technically is the Infinity War Iron Man suit. I would have grabbed the latest version of Thor, because that's the most powerful. I would have grabbed the most powerful Avengers characters, and then I would have grabbed Wolverine at his most powerful, and I would have had them be on the team of Kang. So then you have, this team of you will have the roster that we have now get obliterated by this Avengers team. I think that would have been a more interesting plot, and it would have been a doper way to bring back the heroes, because you're honoring the old, but you're also lining up the new. But I think the second best thing is you get a team, because, bro, look, I mean, Doctor Doom is that type of character to join Kang in his conquest, but Doctor Doom's going to be the one to betray Kang and kill him and then take over and then rule the whole team. I would be really excited if something like that happened.
It's not a bad idea, but I just don't see why it has to be Thanos that's putting together that all-star villain team.
He's not, though. He's just one of the players on the cards.
Okay, all right. You said Kang is going to be doing it. Okay.
Yeah. So Kang. So I see it as Kang could be the guy to bring everyone together. But wouldn't it be fire if Kang pops up and it's just King Thanos, like just with the beard, sitting down with the crown, and then he talks to Thanos about his conquest, and then Thanos is on board, and now he has a team of villains just ready to cook. I mean, the Avengers don't have a roster that can take a team like that, bro. Even if you take Thanos and Ronan and I don't know, take freaking bring back Obadiah Stane, bro, with a more upgraded suit. I mean, there's a lot that you can do there.
Yeah.
What if they bring back an actual Mandarin with the 10 rings? I mean, there's a lot.
The other thing that's really interesting when it comes to these Power Marvel villains is that, yes, they're all villains and they're all the big bad guys, but they all have such a different reasoning for their mission. Like Thanos is trying to kill half of the population everywhere to make sure there's enough resources for everyone. Kang is trying to prevent himself from taking over, and Doctor Doom quite literally just wants to be the most powerful one. So I don't know. I just think they have a lot of different, I think they would have a lot of disagreements in what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. You're mute.
Yo, my mic was muted on purpose. I don't know why. But sorry. The one agreement, though, needs to be is that they need to all know that the Avengers are the thing that stops them from getting what they want most. Which, the villains put that stuff to the side, Think of the Legion of Doom and stuff like that. It's always been that way, And I think a character like Doctor Doom goes to Thanos on the side and says, "Look, Thanos, I'm going to kill Kang in the end. and you and I will roll. You know what I mean? Like that's Doctor Doom-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a snake, bro. He's literally a snake, and that would be hilarious. He's like, look,
Yeah.
Kang's gonna go. You know, that'll be funny. So,
by the way, when Doctor Doom and I called it. I called it from day one. I said Doctor Doom's going to be the one to take out Kang, and when that happens, that's going to be as iconic as.
I agree. No one's going to see it coming
unless they watch the show. We do your homework for you.
Exactly.
We are the cliff notes for those out there that want to know what's going on in the movies, what comics do they draw from, and you see reading comics as something you don't want to do because it's like homework. We are your guys.
Exactly. We sit and read the comics. We sit and watch the hours of comics explained. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I'm more of a video guy, so I watch like the comics through like video form. Comic Cuts reads them all, so you know you get both forms of the content. But by the way, I finished The Devil's Reign. Woo boy, ooh wee, ooh wee.
You got to get into so the writer who I've told you about a lot of that series, Chip Zdarsky, he did 2 Daredevil runs. One of them takes place before it. The other one takes place after it. Yes. I actually am in the middle of the one after it right now. It's unreal. But the first one was great too. And he's also currently writing Batman, Avengers Twilight. But yeah, his Daredevil stuff is, I mean, there's nothing he's written that's not peak.
I need to introduce you to our friends at the Why So Serious podcast, because he just posted a comic book haul today with that same Daredevil what's call it? Yes.
Chip Zdarsky.
He just bought those same exact comics, but I think he bought the ones that were before Devil's Reign. I think he said that.
Okay. Yeah,
I
read those already, but yeah, they're great.
Yeah, I'm gonna get y'all in a contact, because he's a comic head for real.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Like, I mean, bro, like he's doing comic book hauls every week. Like he goes hard.
Yeah. Listen, I love comics, but it's not always easy to find people to talk to about it because not everyone reads them like I do, Yeah,
and this guy reads like everything. He goes hard. Yeah. But he buys everything paperback. He's old school.
Yeah. I still buy a lot of stuff if I think it's going to go up in value, and my shop, they really hook it up for me. Shout out to Grasshoppers Comics on Long Island, by the way. They're good people. Probably, I mean, they're like known to have the best store on Long Island. And anything I ask for, they always put it aside for me. I have 2 huge bags of comics that I still have yet to put in the, plastic casing, but right there. Anyway, yeah, I like reading them digitally. Like, I just like having a backlight on it. I like not having to worry about turning the pages and worrying about the condition of the page and things like that. So,
all right. What is the most expensive? Guy. What is the best comic you have on you right now?
The best one that I have in my apartment or in general?
In your apartment, like an actual physical copy. What is your prize?
Oh, it's probably the Ultimate Universe or the Ultimates variant that they hooked up from Jonathan Hickman. The new one, they hooked me up with a sick variant. So they were selling these when the Arrowverse was doing their Crisis on Infinite Earths. Mm-hmm. And I got it. I think it says DC Comics Millennium Edition.
That looks fire.
Yep.
Crisis.
Yep. Got it at Comic-Con. It was like, I think it was like $120.
Could you put the photo closer?
Yeah.
Man, listen, here's the thing about
I'll send you a photo.
As much as I love how art has evolved in the comics, there's something about the art from the late 80s and early 90s that is just like so iconic to me.
I just sent you a picture. This came out in, I think, 2000, if It says February 2000. I think I just sent you a picture.
Oh man, that is beautiful.
Yup. Yeah, bro. At the like so Delaware has a lot of smaller Comic Cons where they're just trying to sell comics. They have so much stuff, man. It's awesome.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
that is fire.
All right, let's get back into it. Yeah, I have a nice size comic book collection. When I come up there, I'll bring some of them up there so we can just mess around and show it.
Hell yeah.
Thoughts on Percy Jackson? Me personally, I love it. Okay, let me just give you this real quick. I thought Percy Jackson was amazing. I thought Percy Jackson is a great show. I do think they played it safe though with Percy Jackson, and that's one of I'm not gonna say it's an issue, but I do think they played it very safe. And I think that for the first season, it was a very good thing to play it safe. I think Walker Scobell is perfect as Percy Jackson. It took me a while to really like Grover, but I thought Grover was good. I think Anna Beth good. I think they have a pretty good cast going on right now. And season 2 has me very excited because I do think that they're going to take more risk. What makes a project good is the risk that it takes. Okay. And when you were creating content like Percy Jackson, which is like the superhero content, you have to be able to take risk while not destroying the character. Okay. And with Percy Jackson, they played it too safe. And so me personally, as a fan, I need to see more risk with the character. Percy Jackson needs to put more on the line. His fighting style needs to improve. And they really need to showcase his powers a little bit more. Like, I need to see Percy Jackson actually controlling the water instead of him standing in the water going over. So there's a lot that they need to work on, but that doesn't mean that the show was good. So I rated it I think I rated it a 9.1 out of 10. So it was a great season.
On the note of taking risks, like with something like that, Halo, they showed Master Chief. He took off his helmet and he had the helmet off for a long time in the series. I disagree. I thought it was awesome because for the show, I think they needed to humanize him a little more. And I think that it worked. Halo is some of the best television in a while. That show is so good. No, like so good. There were a lot of reviews that said it was mediocre. I don't know what they are smoking. That show is absolute fire. One of my favorite shows in the past couple of years. I think the new season comes out this Friday, actually, or Thursday. I cannot wait.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to say that. I watched the first season, and I was just because I just grew up on Halo, so Master Chief was like my everything. So that really blew me when they unmasked him. But all right, so just call me Raph. What and look, Raph, you're right? That's why I'm saying I know they played it safe. It's just that season 2, I need more risk for the character. All right. Next topic is Hawkeye returning to the MCU. So Jeremy Renner was talking to some press about his Hawkeye return, and this is what Hawkeye said. Pull this up. Why I got all these apps open, man?
Do you see the new tech, the Rabbit R1?
Nah.
Bro, it's this like AI device, and it's supposed to revolutionize everything. The whole thing was like a big part of their presentation was like there's too many apps, and our phones weren't designed for that. I'm getting too off track, but if you haven't checked out the Rabbit R1 and you're into tech, check that out. That thing
I need an Apple Vision Pro. Yeah,
me too.
I will care about that once you and I get Apple Vision Pros and we can be on the pod freaking feeling like Iron Man.
Well, the Rabbit R1 is only supposed to be, I think, like $200, and they released 10,000 of them, and they sold out like instantly.
Oh, never mind. Dang.
No, they're gonna make more, bro.
Okay, good. All right. Jeremy Renner says he's going to be strong enough to return as Hawkeye to the MCU when called. All those guys come to my B-side, and they've been with me all along through this recovery. So if they want me, they could have me. It would be something. I think bringing Hawkeye back is one of the most important things you could do right now with the MCU. We need OG characters back that are not the ones that have died. And I think it's criminal that Hawkeye has even been on the bench for so long. Why wasn't Hawkeye and Echo? Why isn't Hawkeye and Daredevil? I mean, I think there's a place for characters like Hawkeye to be in the street level. I think that Hawkeye will even be good on in the street level as a mentor to the other heroes as well. I think there's a really special place for him. So
yeah, listen, Hawkeye is like the perfect character for where the MCU is at right now. He's an OG character. He didn't die off. He's not overpowered. And he also showed that he could be a great mentor. Like the last we saw of Hawkeye was Hawkeye being a mentor, and God knows a lot of the MCU could use a mentor right now. So, we talk about it a lot on this show, how there are too many characters that are cool. We see them, and then we don't see them forever. And it's criminal to have Hawkeye on the bench for this long, as Stevie said.
And Hawkeye was a fantastic show. That's really probably my favorite show out of all of them so far, other than Wanda and Vision, which I think is the greatest show of all time. But I think that, but I mean, other than like that and Loki, Hawkeye was like probably third as one of my favorite shows. So I'm like, why, like, this is another story where you could have put Echo's story in a Hawkeye season 2 or something like that instead of like an Echo show. So it sucks that he hasn't been shown, but obviously the injury and all that, obviously he had to take a break. But I'm really excited.
Echo's like up there with one of the best shows. It's crazy how good Echo is.
Bro, it is a good show. It is a good show. And
it's a really good show.
Yes. And I still stand on what I said about non-interesting characters getting shows. It is a good show, though.
But if you could make a non-interesting character, here's the problem with what I'm going to say. Number one, if you could make a non-interesting character interesting, it's awesome. But I feel like Marvel will hear something like that, and they'll be like, yes, we could do something like She-Hulk again. No,
bro. They're gonna say yes. Juno's getting a show after the Fantastic Four movie.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Echo actually is a good show, and it's wild. But yeah, man, Hawkeye is so great. What heroes are a part of the street level team? So far, we have Spider-Man. So far, we have Daredevil. Echo's probably gonna be a part of that. And that's all I know of so far. Punisher. Jessica Jones probably gonna come back. Most likely, Luke Cage gonna come back. I think. Iron Fist. White Tiger is gonna be in Daredevil as well. That's really all I've heard about so far. I also wouldn't be shocked if Nick Fury gets involved with the street level stuff too. I think that would be a good. I think that would be a good thing for him. I think the Secret Invasion. I like that show, but I think you need to bring Nick Fury back to his roots. And I think involving him in the street level stuff would be awesome.
Street level with espionage specifically.
Yes, because you can bring government. Because I think with Kingpin trying to have a role of government, I think this is the perfect time to bring Nick Fury back in the fold, and you can put him against Kingpin.
That would be fire.
Yep. All right. Next thing is, oh crap! I got 2 tickers. Hold on, let me fix this. All right, Vision returning to the MCU. Paul Bettany has confirmed that he will return as Vision in the MCU. Okay, so it seems like the Vision show isn't happening. That's what it seems. We've heard no news on it. We've heard no movement on this Vision show. Okay, so
Vision Quest.
we've heard no movement on the Vision Quest show, but for some reason they're filming Wonder Man for some odd reason. And we'll talk about that after this. But anyways, Paul Bettany Vision. I like Vision as a character, and I liked where they put Vision at the end of WandaVision. I do think that they waited too long to go into a Vision show and to dive in on the story, because the reality is that fans are not going to care. Jerry, to be honest, I think, because remember how you and I talked like I think a month ago, and we were talking about how Marvel is really looking to do that Scarlet Witch movie instead of the WandaVision 2. I think you put Vision in that Scarlet Witch movie, and then you push him forward beyond that. I think that's the best way to do it without stepping on anyone's toes.
Listen, I get that if you're going to have a Wanda movie, it makes sense to have Vision in it. But, and I know you're not going to like hearing this, but I think Wanda, they have given Wanda so much spotlight, and people still just don't seem to care for her in the way that they want people to. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You're the only one I ever hear hyping up Wanda. And let me finish. Like, if someone like Iron Man or Captain America got the shine that Wanda just did, people would be talking about it. But like, nobody talks about Wanda since Multiverse of Madness. And even when that movie came out, people weren't leaving the movie talking about how great Wanda was. And I don't think the Wanda movie is necessary. I don't think people care for it. And if anything, save Wanda for when you bring the mutants and the X-Men in. Like, I don't think the movie with that right now is necessary or serves any purpose at all, other than maybe some contractual commitments they have to fill with Elizabeth Olsen.
I strongly disagree with that take of yours. Strongly disagree. I think you're on the wrong side of the internet, man, because where I go, like where I go on the internet, all I see is Wanda, man. Well, Wanda is probably the most popular character in the MCU other than Spider-Man at the moment. Well, there's a lot of Wanda stands out there, and the reality is that Wanda was done dirty in the Multiverse of Madness. She should have never been the villain of the movie. That's where you go wrong. And so yeah, man. I mean, I think Wanda is the best character in the MCU other than Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, people like that. But I think that Wanda is where you need to go. WandaVision is one of the most viewed shows of all time. And Wanda, I think, is one of the reasons why Doctor Strange did good in theaters. As much as I think Multiverse of Madness is a great movie, which I will die on that hill forever, I do think Wanda is a big part of why that movie was successful. And Wanda was never the reason why the movie is looked down upon. No one gets mad at Wanda.
No, I did. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
I'm not talking about you, but no. I'm not like talking about you, but like a lot of people like to say that Wanda is the reason why, like Multiverse of Madness is the reason why Wanda's not there. No, we don't know what's going on. Wanda should have been back. Wanda should have never died. Like, why would you kill off one of your most popular, characters? And WandaVision was the movie that gave her that spotlight, and then Multiverse of Madness destroyed it. So, but but a lot of fans have been asking, where is Elizabeth Olsen? And she's ready to come back. So they're definitely cooking something behind the scenes. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if she's in Deadpool, bro. Just being honest. I really wouldn't be shocked if she's in that and that launches her movie.
I really hope she's not in Deadpool.
Why?
Because there are going to be so many people that are going to pop up in that movie that like Wanda's not even needed.
But if Magneto's in it, why wouldn't his kids be in it? What if it's Aaron Taylor Johnson and freaking Wanda, bro? That'd be fire, bro. With Ian? What? That would be fire.
It would be, but I don't know. I just think you're doing too much, and they have.
Bro hates cameos, man.
No, they have a habit of doing too much in those X-Men movies.
Bro hates cameos, man. It's crazy. All right, let's see what the Dragon Trader says. If you could make a Marvel Disney Plus series, what would it be, and what hero would you start it?
That's a good question.
Disney Plus show.
Punisher.
Trying to think. Who's a Marvel hero that I would do? I would probably do an origin on the Beyonder.
Sorry.
Really, I would dive into the cosmic side of Marvel. I think that the cosmic side of Marvel is very underrated, and you could literally just do cosmic shows, and those movies, and those shows would do bigger than every MCU show that we've seen so far. Like, you can do the stuff about eternity and the Watchers and stuff like that. That's what fans want to see. Fans like in TV shows, fans want to see deep lore that we're not that's going to explain some of these entities in the films, because like you just show eternity and Thor, Love and Thunder and you do nothing with it. Like, people don't know who that is.
You know who else deserves his own show? There's two I'm going to say. Number one, Norrin Rad Silver Surfer deserves at least a special presentation, maybe his own show. but also I would love to see a Druid from Eternals show. Like, he is such a dope character, and I think the Eternals need some spotlight right now.
The Eternals are one of the greatest things that ever happened to the MCU. Our fans are just too dumb to freaking understand that. Just saying. The Eternals is one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not saying that it's goated, but Eternals, and I'm gonna be real, bro, it's one of my top 10 MCU films of all time.
Yeah,
I hate to say it.
Movie is so good, and like, it's crazy because no one talks about it. Which goes to show, by the way, like, when Marvel is hyped, people, are kinder in their reviews. When Marvel is not hyped, and I'm not just talking about critics, I'm talking about people, like, and people are harsher. And there are movies that have come out post Endgame during the time where, Marvel is getting the harsh treatment, and movies like Eternals come out, and I think that's why people are hyped with Eternals.
For sure, bro. What Vision Quest isn't happening? We're not totally sure. There just has been no news on it, and
Which
and
is why
even
we don't think it's happening, because if the show is in production, we would be hearing rumors and leaks, and none of that's happening. So it seems
because like even Wonder Man, like there wasn't a lot of movement on Wonder Man, but we kept getting reassuring rumors that Wonder Man is being rewritten and that you know what I mean? Like, we got constant new news about it. With Vision Quest, there's been nothing, literally nothing. The reason why they're not doing it, even though I believe it's still happening, is because they're focusing on making the shows that are supposed to come out this year. Disagree. I just like bro. To be honest, I just think that I think they're really gonna put his plot in her movie. You're gonna watch Super Bowl, obviously, yes. Deadpool trailer is coming out this Sunday, so we will be there for sure. All right, next topic. Okay, so it was talked about that Hayden Christian will be returning. So Hayden Christian will reportedly return as Anakin Skywalker in Ahsoka season 2 via Daniel RBK. Okay, Anakin and Ahsoka was literal amazing. I cried. Okay, and I made like 20 videos about it. I think that there's something very special about Anakin. The thing that they did with Anakin and Ahsoka is that now he has the balance. He's the balance of the Force, and he's technically, at least from what I've seen, this dude's basically a Force god, bro. He's able, he's in the world between worlds, which is kind of the multiverse for Star Wars. So he is literally watching time unfold, and he's being a Force ghost while watching Ahsoka, and Ahsoka saw him. I mean, there's so much that's happening, but also let's talk about this: the fact that at the end of Ahsoka, we saw Balin standing in the hands of the Father. R.I.P. to the guy that died that played Balin Skull. Great actor. Really sad news. But he was standing in the hands of the Father, and there is a theory that Abeloth is calling to Balin. Now, if you don't know who Abeloth is, Abeloth is the mother, okay? So Abeloth was a human being, and she was the mother of the Father, the daughter, and the Son, and because these are basically like celestial beings, Force gods. And what ended up happening was there's this thing in Star Wars. I'm pretty sure it's called one's called the Lake of Life and the Water of Death or something. And basically, I'm like getting them mixed up. But basically, Abeloth takes a sip out of both, and she ends up becoming this dark side monster. Is what she's locked away. And so the theory that's going around is that Balin's gonna bring her back out, and all that stuff is going to happen. And the theory is that Anakin is the father, Ahsoka is the daughter, and no one knows who the son is. A lot of people think that Star Killer might be the son, but no one really knows. But that's kind of the symbolization that is going around. Maybe Luke Skywalker, or maybe Luke could be the son. I'm not sure, but that's kind of the rumors that have been going around about that. So I think Anakin returning is really big news.
You're saying Anakin had a baby with Abeloth?
No. So the Father is a being that came before Anakin. And so, okay. So quick class of lore, right? So basically, right, in Star Wars, the Clone Wars animated show, right, the Father brought Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka to this planet, right? And basically, this being called the Father, he had two kids, the daughter and the son. The daughter was the symbolization of the light side. The son was the embodiment of the dark side, right? What happened was Anakin, it was supposed to take the place of the father, because the father is the balance that keeps both the light and the dark from not overpowering each other. Because that's the point of the Force. The Force is supposed to be a balance. And that's what the Jedi always got wrong, is that like their job isn't to wipe out the darkness, it's to keep it balanced. Anyways. So basically what ended up happening was the son ended up killing no, the son ended up killing Ahsoka, and the daughter, who is the embodiment of the life side, right? She gave her life force to Ahsoka for her to live. And so that's why a lot of people think that Ahsoka is the daughter, because the life force of the daughter lives in Ahsoka.
Got it.
The question is, I know it's a mind F, but do you kind of understand?
Yeah.
The question, though, this is the question: where did the life force of the son go? And that's the question that is going to be answered in Ahsoka season 2. Which, if my theory is right, and Anakin is the father, that means this dude is literally a celestial being. That he was the chosen one, bro, by the Force, because he was never human.
That's crazy.
He was never like everyone. The dude's a god.
Yeah.
And if they expand on that, this will be the greatest Star Wars story of all time. Sorry, go ahead.
It's crazy that Ahsoka and like Mandalorian and these shows are what's hyping Star Wars, and they couldn't do that with a trilogy. But aside from that, like there's that clip that went viral, and it was Hayden Christensen, and you could see it in his face when he realized that the fandom has like come around on him and how much that meant to him. And as awesome as it was, like I just felt bad because like I grew up with the prequels, and I always loved Hayden Christensen. Like Anakin was my shit growing up. Those are the movies that taught me that like, and the OG trilogy too. But like those are the movies that taught me it's okay if the villain's your favorite character, because Anakin and Darth Vader have always been my favorites in Star Wars. So much so that like I wouldn't have minded if Darth Vader took Palpatine out in Episode 6 and still killed Luke. You're muted. And I know you're saying something crazy. I know you're like, whoa.
No, I mean, if Vader became the Dark Lord, that would have been fire. Like there's this fan theory, or there's a fan story that they made of where Luke became Vader's apprentice when Vader was under Palpatine. But what happened was Vader hid Luke from Palpatine, and so Vader would train Luke for hours, and Luke would have to basically spend time. He would spend time meditating, basically taking the Force out, taking the dark side of the Force out of him, so it won't overtake his body. And so he's getting more powerful, becoming a balanced Jedi with the dark side, but he's not letting it rule over him. And basically he becomes a balanced Jedi and kills Palpatine with ease. Now that story would have been what?
Yeah.
Talk to me nice, baby. Woo! Sorry, I got hype.
I hope they let like Ahsoka lead into something. If they were smart, they wouldn't be doing another Daisy Ridley trilogy. They would let Ahsoka play out and then do another trilogy based on wherever that leads.
Ahsoka is leading into something, bro. So what is it
going to be like a numeric episode trilogy though, or is it going to be like Mandalorian, spin-off movie, or like a Mandalorian, Rogue One, Han Solo, a Star Wars story?
So what it's looking to be is it'll be Ahsoka season 2, Mando movie, Heir to the Empire, which is the culmination.
Heir to the Empire is Mandalorian, or that's another movie?
that's a movie, but it's gonna bring Ahsoka, Mando, Luke Skywalker all into one movie to fight against Thrawn.
Oh, that's
Who's
fine.
basically the Thanos, who's basically like Star Wars is like Thanos, to make a long story short. So
Yeah.
Star Wars can cook, but this race story, man, they gotta, and I feel bad for Daisy Ridley because she is a good person, you know. It isn't like a Brie Larson situation where like Brie Larson was just a hag to the press. Daisy really, like, I watch interviews, bro. She loves, like, she's not a bad person, you know? And it sucks that she gets fed these lies from Lucasfilm, and she really thinks that, like, they care about her. And I really don't think they don't. I think they're just using her as a puppet.
Right. And if they did care about her, they would have at least written her properly. And that's the other thing I want to say. It's like, I don't know what the hell they're doing to hire who they're hiring to write, but you know, listen, having Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni making the movies is great, but without someone who is up to the task of writing those movies, it's still not going to work out so well.
100%, bro. I agree, and that's why you know the movies failed, because I think that even with the sequels, there was something there, you know? Like, do you also agree that there was something there? That there was something special there?
When I saw Force Awakens, like, I thought we were going to have an epic trilogy. And episode 8 got worse, and 9 was even worse than 8.
Yeah, I 100% agree, bro. So, you know, and that's kind of where I'm at, bro. It's like they had it, bro, and they fumbled.
Yeah, and like, even with as bad as everything that Zack Snyder did was, the one thing I can give him with his trilogy is that each movie consistently got better. Like, I thought BVS was better than Man of Steel, and I thought Zack Snyder's Justice League was better than BVS. And there's something to be said when you're watching something and it keeps getting better and better. It's like your excitement increases and increases. You can't set the bar high and not at least meet that bar. And when you don't,
exactly,
like Iron Man, which we all love, you know, I think that was part of the problem with the Iron Man trilogy. Because listen, I like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, but Iron Man 1 was superior to both of them. That when Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3 came out, you know, a lot of people were like, you know, and I think that's the problem with setting the bar so high in the beginning.
Plus, they butchered the Mandarin so terribly in Iron Man 3.
And I don't think Episode 7 set the bar too high in terms of like the way Iron Man 1 did. I just think 8 and 9 were so bad.
I agree. Why would they do that to her? They would do this to her because her last movie did $1 billion in box office.
And it's Disney.
And people love Rey. People love, like, look, and this is what a lot of people don't understand. But this is what people understand. A lot of people don't have a problem with Rey as a character. They have a problem with how Rey was done. The character of Rey was never the issue. I think Rey is a very interesting character. I love Rey. But the issue is that they made her the most powerful Jedi of all time. And the thing is that you can do that, but she has to take a hero's road to get there. You can't just give someone all the powers.
Right.
So notice how Iron Man solo movies got worse each time, while Cap's movies got better each time. Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Well, and then but let's also be honest. Iron Man didn't get the resources that Captain America got in his films. You know,
That's
I mean,
true.
Iron Man got War Machine, but Cap got Nick Fury. He got Black Widow. He got Falcon. He had Bucky.
Iron Man 2
aka
had
the
Black
Winter Soldier.
Widow too, though. Iron Man 2.
But then we're talking about Civil War, where you literally have basically the Avengers roster, bro.
Right,
and then you bring in Spider-Man, you know? So if and not to mention RDJ's Iron Man plays the best with other characters, and they didn't put any other characters in his film. If Iron Man 3 was Iron Man, Cap, and Black Widow fighting against the Mandarin and a few other villains teaming up together, do you think that movie would have done $1 billion? Of course it would have.
Yeah.
And so, like guys, think about this. Think about a team of Iron Man, Black Widow, Falcon, and Cap, and 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 the Iron Man 3. That's $1 billion film. So so yeah. All right. Now let's get into. I think this is our last topic. Then we'll go into some reacting to tweets. Okay, Black Panther 3 plot rumor. Okay, hear me out. Black Panther 3 is reportedly. By the way, this is a rumor. Black Panther 3 is reportedly in development at Marvel Studios. Letitia Wright will star in the film as Black Panther. The Midnight Angel series will tie into the film. Also, the U.S. and others will try to use Wakanda for their resources and vibranium, which will lead to a war in the U.S. There was recent rumors Marvel wanted Doctor Doom in the MCU relatively soon, if not in the Fantastic Four. He will definitely appear in Black Panther 3. In the comics, Shuri also faced Doom when she became the Black Panther in Doom Wars. We are currently in the Dark Reigns era.
Yeah, I mean, listen, sounds fire, but they need to have T'Challa.
I agree.
If I were, listen, I almost think they shouldn't do this movie if they're not going to bring T'Challa back.
So, what I would like, right? Because I'm trying to compromise here, because you know how strongly I feel about this recast T'Challa movement. You and I are both very strong in that space. You and I are probably the strongest voices in that space, to be honest. But what I will say is this: I would love to see T'Challa being trained by the Dora Milaje. And I would love to see a teenage T'Challa. I wouldn't mind a 17 or 18-year-old T'Challa, and I wouldn't mind if he is the Black Panther with Shuri in battle. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that to where he's kind of learning the ropes, because this is T'Challa's son. Because I don't really know what they're going to do with are they going to bring a multiversal T'Challa in for Black Panther, or is his son just going to become the T'Challa of this place? I'm fine with either one, but it's looking like T'Challa's son is this T'Challa Jr. is going to be the guy. So I imagine that we're going to get a really big time jump where T'Challa's like 18 or 19, and I think he'll have the suit at that point, or he'll be right there to where we're going to see him train, and he's going to have a big role in the film. But
the issue with the time jump is that I don't see them doing it, because here's the thing. If they do even a 10-year time jump, for argument's sake, the problem is that the son of T'Challa, whatever his name is then you can't bring him into the other movies unless you also time jump those movies. So it defeats the purpose of bringing in that version of the Black Panther into the Avengers movies, because you can't do it unless you time jump the entire MCU. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place with that, which brings us back to the only way to do Black Panther 3 is to bring back T'Challa, or don't do it.
But how do you? So other than using the multiverse, how do you do that without killing the lore or without destroying the universe? Is it you just bring a multiverse T'Challa in, or do we just act like he's back?
I think you're right away because I hate the idea of the multiverse being the cop out. I think you write him
at this point. It has to be.
Yeah.
At this point, it has to be the cop out.
I don't even really care. I don't even really care.
Bro, so I just want T'Challa.
Yeah, I just want T'Challa. Whether you have to write him back that he's back from the dead, or that he's a multiverse variant, you bring him back. Because Black Panther 3, listen, Black Panther 2 is a catastrophe for the MCU. And it's a catastrophe because that movie wasn't as great as it should have been because they didn't recast T'Challa. Because a bunch of people online were, it's like unbelievable. Actors die tragically. You recast them. That's how Hollywood's worked since the beginning of time. And every time I think about Black Panther 2, I'm just like, it's a shame that T'Challa wasn't in it. That's all I think about that movie.
Bro, you get very upset. You get very upset.
Yeah, because it's so dumb. It's so dumb. And I just think that people didn't think it through, and they were just too emotional, and they demanded that T'Challa not be recasted, and it's like, you ruined the movie. And now, Black Panther 3, I don't even want.
I think I have a way that they can do it. I have a way that they can do it without the multiverse.
Okay, let's hear it.
Marvel, listen up. This is the last time I'm giving advice for free. All right, I charge $2,000 an hour for my time at Marvel. You know what I mean? If y'all want me and Comic Cuts to come and cook up the next 10 years for y'all, we won't talk about it on the show. Trust me. Bring us in. I will quit my job right now. Anyways, all right, right? Am I wrong? We will quit our jobs right now. Hire us.
I would need a contract.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, legal action will have to take place. But if the contract looks good, if the money look good, I will quit as we speak right now.
Yeah. But I just want to say something before we put any ideas out there. Marvel, you have Chip Zdarsky, Jonathan Hickman. If we can think of an idea for you to bring T'Challa back, we know they can.
And way better than we can. Actually, no. Actually, no. No, because you said we're not humble. No. We're not humble. No. They cannot do better ideas than us.
I am not humble. But, you know what's coming out tomorrow?
What?
Ultimate Black Panther.
You said Ultimate what?
Black Panther.
The comic?
Yeah.
I'm going to tune in. All right, so here's what I think, right? Because think about this, right? If time is all happening going down the timeline, right? If we get Spider-Man 4, we get Fantastic Four, we get Doctor Strange, all these other movies, that can add up to be 10 years. And so then Black Panther 4 or 3 happens at that 10-year mark where T'Challa is 21 at that point.
But you're talking about the son. You're not talking about T'Challa.
Yeah, because T'Challa Jr. is going to be the Black Panther, bro. But what they're going to do
his name, though.
Yeah, his name is T'Challa. He said it at the end. And bro, what they're basically going to do is just act like the old one never existed.
It's Toussaint.
But his Wakandan name is T'Challa.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And so I think they're going to age him up, and I think we're going to wait 4 or 5 years. But what they're going to do is they're going to act like the old T'Challa just didn't exist, and he's just going to be the prime one. Obviously they might mention it a few times, obviously. Yeah. But I think that's kind of how they're going to do it. And I think this is perfect because this is right when the X-Men comes out, so we can get a Storm and T'Challa run and all that stuff. So yeah. I think either way works. But to me, it's all about who they recast. Damson Idris, make it happen.
Yeah,
seriously,
he needs a comic book role because that actor is destined for greatness.
One of the greatest African American actors of all time. Literally, one of the greatest shows of all time.
You watch Snowfall?
I watch clips. I just don't have. I'm just not into drug stuff personally. Okay. But I've seen clips, and you can. And whether if I like it or not, you cannot deny great acting. Right, that kid's got it. That kid's got it, man. He's just, yeah. I mean, and what he has is what I see in Denzel. It's what I see when I watch Robert Downey. It's what I see when I watch Killian. He has that swagger to him, bro.
That show is one of my all-time favorites, and it largely sat on his shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, look, I always say that Snowfall is just the hood version of the what's that show with Murphy? Peaky
Peaky Blinders.
Blinders. It's literally just a hood version of that. Like it's literally the same. It's literally the same concept.
It's a little different because Peaky Blinders is a gang, and the reason Snowfall is so good is because it's not. So it's about two things. Number one, they realized that they could make more money cooking cocaine into crack and selling it as crack rather than cocaine. And they're like the first people to do it. Number one. Number two, they work with the CIA, and the CIA is Damson Idris's characters. A CIA guy is his connect. So Damson Idris buys the cocaine from a guy in the CIA, and that CIA guy uses that money to fund an American war in Nicaragua.
So I'm thinking more about as just the main characters, not necessarily the whole story, because I view the main characters as the same as they're both the business masterminds who take risk, and no matter what happens, people get killed and they lose everyone because of it. Yeah. And I feel like that's like a similar, I guess like plot with like
listen, they're definitely in the same genre of shows.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Damson Idris has that, and you and I both agree he has that thing to him, and I don't know how to explain it, but certain actors just have that. I don't know how to say it.
Listen,
but they have that aura.
Damson Idris is going to be a star, and people are going to wonder, where did he get famous from? And they're going to look up Snowfall. And listen, Snowfall has been a very popular TV show, but he's going to be. I mean, this is a guy that's going to win Oscars.
Yeah, and him as T'Challa will be one of probably Marvel's greatest casting of all time. All right, so back to other than obviously RDJ and them. All right, back to some chats. Let's see. Notice how we saw that Captain America: Civil War felt more like an Avengers movie. Exactly.
It was a bonus Avengers movie.
Exactly. If there's no T'Challa, I ain't watching it. LOL. And T-Child, that doesn't count. Honestly, at this point, Disney should just wait for the soft reboot and then do a Black Panther movie with the new T'Challa. So, Hungry Almighty, my question is this: Do you want the new T'Challa to be in Secret Wars? Or do we just bench him? I know he's in Daredevil Born Again, but I thought White Tiger was going to be the villain in Black Panther 3. Black Panther versus White Tiger. No, they're probably going to do Doctor Doom, which I think would be dope. And I wouldn't be shocked if Doctor Doom and Namor come back. That's kind of what I'm thinking. T'Challa Jr.
They didn't kill Namor.
Exactly.
Namor deserves his own show.
Agreed. T'Challa Jr. And by the way, speaking of Namor, I would love for them to hire the people that did the underwater stuff for Aquaman, because the underwater stuff for Namor was god awful. So find those guys that did the VFX for Aquaman and hire them, because Aquaman's underwater scenes are 10 times better than that crap that they did in Black Panther. That was literally embarrassing. T'Challa Jr. will be the new Black Panther when he's grown, probably. Here's my prediction: if the MCU soft reboots, these are the movies the MCU are going to do. Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk, Avengers, X-Men, F4, and Black Panther are going to be those main IPs. I agree. Hey, you know how Black Panther is married to Storm in the comics? Do you think that's going to happen in the MCU while T'Challa Jr. is all grown up? Bro, whether it's T'Challa Jr. or a new T'Challa, they are going to be, for sure. It's either new T'Challa in a soft reboot, or somehow in Secret Wars using time travel BS, he will be aged up like how Ant-Man, how the Ant-Man device age up people. What about Avatar? They literally film. Oh, you're talking about Avatar, the show. The movie. I hate Avatar, but yeah, I mean, James Cameron's not letting them go. Yeah, James Cameron wants to do. I mean, this dude has 7 Avatars already written, so they ain't going nowhere. So you just hire those people that did Aquaman and you just move on, bro. But I want Dr. Doom as Killian, so I want Killian as Dr. Doom, so hopefully that happens. All right.
I just read the synopsis for Ultimate Black Panther. You're gonna lose your mind. I'm gonna read it right now.
Go ahead.
Real quick. The new Ultimate Black Panther. In the wake of Ultimate Invasion, Khonshu and Ra, the force known together as Moon Knight, are seeking to expand their brutal control of the continent of Africa. In response, the lone bulwark against them, the isolated nation of Wakanda, will send forth its champion, its king, the Black Panther.
So Khonshu versus what's her name? I forget the goddess, the Black
Khonshu
Panther goddess.
and
Oh,
Ra.
Khonshu and Bast. So it's Khonshu versus Bast. And honestly, that's where I think Black Panther really went wrong. And I always talk about this because a lot of people, if you don't read comics,
Right,
you
that's
don't
not
know.
T'Challa. That's
Yeah.
not T'Challa.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you don't read comics, you would not understand that Shuri got denied by Bast to get the powers. The whole reason why they go to the other world, and this is where Ryan Coogler really messed up in both Black Panther films, and I will never forgive him for this, and I low-key despise him because of this. The reason why Black Panthers go to the other world, right, is because Bast decides whether you have the heart to become the Black Panther or not. That is why a Killmonger getting the herb and becoming Black Panther is not possible in the comics.
Right.
Even though Killmonger is a great character, I think he's overrated. But even though Killmonger is a great character and villain, he would have never gotten it in the confines of the comics. And literally in Black Panther 2, Killmonger tells Shuri literally, "You and I are the same. You're doing this out of vengeance," and she still gets the powers. And that will never make sense to me because to me, if you build Shuri to where Shuri gets denied by Bast, right, that she's not prepared to take it, and you can do that early in the film, and then and then Shuri goes through actual trials in the movie, I would have respected her getting the powers in the end if they did it right by the comics. And I will never forgive Ryan Coogler for doing that ever. Sorry for my rant.
No, it's a good point.
Because as much as Comic Cuts and I hated Shuri, dislike Shuri, I'm not gonna say I hated it, dislike Shuri, if they actually put the lore into it and gave an actual hero's road, it would have been way better. Anyways, my bad, a dumb question, but is the new Ultimate Universe Black Panther T'Challa? Because I don't know why, maybe I'm going crazy, but it seems like since Chad died, Marvel has been erasing T'Challa games, comics, etc.
You know, so I didn't read that many Black Panther comics, but I can't imagine it's not T'Challa.
I agree.
And it looks like T'Challa. Like there's no way they're doing this Ultimate Universe that they know has so much hype and everyone's going crazy for, and they're not going to take that opportunity to use T'Challa.
Yep. Alrighty. So now we're gonna react to some tweets. I think we got like 4 tweets lined up for you guys. This is more so. Look, reacting to tweets is really Comic Cuts rant section, right? This is where Comic Cuts gets to be raw, unfiltered in himself. Okay, so because Comic Cuts Jerry does send most of these tweets, because he's on Twitter way more than I am. So this is like his soapbox, and I love this side of Jerry because I see this every day. And you guys only get to see this for like 20 to 30. We rant all day long. Okay, so let's go. Yeah. Number 1. David Court Sweat is the indie version of Henry Cavill. You have your go.
Yeah, this is just absurd. First of all, like, you have barely seen David Court Sweat in anything, and you haven't seen him in Superman yet. So, like, for you to say this with your full chest is insane. And we all know Superman Legacy is going to clear Man of Steel, and it's going to be clowns like you that are going to pretend otherwise. The rest of your fans and the people that like your silly ass tweets are going to be able to say they enjoyed Superman Legacy, while you're going to have to pretend you didn't.
Exactly. I mean, imagine coming at a movie without even seeing it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. By the way, these clowns, like, if you are someone that's connected to Zack Snyder, they pretend that everything you do is amazing. And if you're not connected to Zack Snyder, or if you're even worse, connected to James Gunn, you are the devil incarnate.
Yep. Exactly. Mad haters. Okay. Next tweet. Okay, so it says, I'm going to read the tweet first. It says, "I'm afraid the ship has sailed on Henry Cavill as a movie star." And it says, "Argyle, which has a massive $200 million production budget, only saw 6.5 million on his opening day, and then the bottom says Zach Supes really dulled his image, and the top says I don't know, maybe blame the director of Argyle over Zack Snyder.
I think there was two tweets I sent that I wanted to show at the same time with this one. I don't know if you could do that. Yeah, because there was the one above it I sent that was of the same article, but it was a different take from another Snyder guy. You're muted.
This guy has no brain cells. Oh my god, this is one of the worst tweets I've ever heard in my life. He says this: Argyle flopping is James Gunn's fault. He tanked John Cena's career with that Peacemaker flop, and now the movie is suffering for it.
Yeah, so
Peacemaker never flopped.
This is the tweet. I guess I'll show it here so you can see it. Let me get this light out. So I'm mirrored, so okay. So my point here is that this random movie, Argyle, that looks like it's trash. Some Snyder fans are like, blame the director for Argyle, which, listen, I don't actually disagree with this guy, Snyder haters cringe. And for all the Snyder fans, he's actually not that bad. I do think it's a little ridiculous that he's got what looks like to be a Muslim.
That hair is terrible. That hair is terrible. Though they have his hair like pushed up the whole movie. It's so bad. Yeah. It looks terrible.
I don't understand why he's got like the Muslim hat on Zack Snyder, because I don't think Zack Snyder's Muslim. I imagine the guy Snyder haters cringe is Muslim, but like, I don't know. That seems a little crazy to me. Yeah. Anyway, but he's not that bad. I've actually spoken to him before. Like, he's actually a pretty solid guy. Snyder haters cringe.
Okay.
Listen, his account a little lame, but like he's not that bad.
Cool.
But the other one was insane. It's like, listen, he's not wrong to blame the director of Argyle over Zack Snyder, but other Snyder fans are blaming James Gunn for Argyle, which, like, I don't even understand how James Gunn has anything to do with Argyle. These people.
Peacemaker didn't even flop.
What?
Peacemaker didn't even flop. That's a popular show. What are people talking about?
Yeah, and
that's idiotic.
Yeah, and because John Cena's in this movie, but like, yeah, but still, that's I don't even know what to say. It's like the most ridiculous.
Cena's not even the biggest role in the film, bro. These dudes are stupid, bro. They really don't read anything, man.
Yeah, like literally all the photos for the movie are Henry Cavill and that singer girl. But yeah, go to the next one. If you could get the other tweet on the screen, that'd be great. I
love how people say Corn Sweat looks like a bootleg Cavill when Cavill looks like Superman. So of course Corn Sweat will look like Cavill. Yeah, exactly.
Great point.
James Gunn this is what we understand. James Gunn didn't let Cavill go because he's not a good Superman. He let Cavill go because he's older, which is why he found a dude like Corn Sweat that looks just like Cavill, because Cavill is the perfect model for the look of Superman.
Yeah.
So why would you veer off from that? People are just dumb. Okay. This is fun. Reminder that the designer who made this costume is making the costumes for Superman Legacy.
Yeah. Seems like a fire costume to me.
I am really hyped to see this Superman costume, bro.
Yeah.
I just don't want the cape to go inside of his, like, I don't want the cape to be tucked in. I really want the cape to fall. Like to stick on the back and fall.
You don't want it to be from the eyelids.
Yeah,
you don't want it
I don't want it to be like tucked in like that. You know, I kind of want it to just stick and fall. You know,
I like the ones that have like the aglets, like the lace holes here, and kind of ribbon down. I think those are really cool.
Bro, Hungry Almighty, we do need the trunks. I'm Team Trunks. Yes, give me the underwear. Give me the underwear, man.
I'm sorry, it's a little weird to want to see a guy flying in the air with underwear over his pants.
Oh, you are hating. Trunks is the way to go.
No, I'm not hating. I'm being practical. It looks silly. It is silly.
The Superman that you love wears trunks. That's all I'm gonna say.
But we can make it better without trunks.
All right, the last one. What the frick is this?
Yo, it's of course another Snyder fan. This guy, by the way, his username used to say Geralt of Snyderverse. It's like
That's funny.
yeah, I guess the Snyder. I guess some people, some of them are realizing the Snyderverse isn't cool. But yeah, this suit is fire. Okay, a lot of people are mixed on it. It's fire. This guy, you want to see some of the worst takes on the internet? Check out his page. And yeah, this suit is fire. We went over it at the top of the show. It is proof that the suit from the Batman is a trendsetter. This one is fire, and it's also proof of where we are in this day and age that comic book movies and shows get to have more authentic to their comics suits. Because like I also said, Daredevil, when it came out on Netflix, the goal was to appeal to a wider general audience outside of just the comic book movie fans like us. Nowadays, comic book movies and shows are so popular that they know they could get away with brighter, less muted suits like this.
100%. You think DCU Batman will keep the black cape and cowl, or in my opinion, they should go dark navy blue? I would go dark navy blue personally. But wouldn't be shocked. But wouldn't be shocked if they go black cape, cowl, and gray. But just make it a little more fantastical.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to the black cape, cowl, gray suit. I don't like the idea of the navy.
They could do both.
They could do both. I still don't. And it makes sense to do the gray and the black with the Bat family, and making it more fantastical and not grounded in realism. The black, but he's Batman. At least you can still keep him dark and edgy.
I'm hyped to see Nightwing, man. Oh, Robin. Oh, I'm gonna cry. All right, we're going to end it here, guys. As I say at the end of every episode, we are here every day, 7 days a week. We post on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere at Comic Cuts, at Superherocuts. Keep following us, keep showing love, and we'll see you guys next week. All right, have a great day. And next week we will be talking about we will be breaking down the Deadpool trailer. So it's gonna be a big week next week. So
hell yeah,
have a great So have a great night.
We might be recording on Monday next week.
Mm-hmm. So we might be a little early. So we love you guys. Have a good night. Peace out.
Peace.